Sandy from Maine.
Thank you. Well, first of all, I'd like to second Craig's comments about the progress that was made on the communication. I'm grateful to the borough president and the other elected officials who helped put this forum together, and certainly grateful to you for taking a little time here and meeting with us. And quite frankly, I'm grateful to everybody who's sitting around the table who is here tonight. This is a group that actually has worked very closely together over the last 8 years. We all pretty much know each other. The outcome of this project means a lot to me personally too. It means a lot to my neighborhood, and I really value the time that everybody here is spending tonight and they leave here as well. So thank you all very much. I have a couple comments on some of your earlier overview, and we'll sort of end with one question. First, with respect to the Quality of Life Subcommittee, I think it's obviously not a secret that everybody who lives in the city of New Haven is quite concerned about what will happen with arena operations. And so as that committee, the sooner that the framework for responding quickly to operational concerns that happen after the arena is put together, the more everybody will be, will have a feeling of, if not comfort, at least that the city and the state are not going to be flat-footed at the expense of the neighborhood when the arena opens. So I would encourage, Carla, if you're putting that together, we can't move fast enough on that. Happy to do whatever we can do to be helpful in that way. With respect to Block 1129, I personally am happy to hear that the number of cars there will be south of 550. That's getting close to numbers that we've called for some time. With respect to plans for the lot, I think it's going to be very important for us to understand what exactly would happen in the 30-day comment period following May 22nd. It's obviously not very far from now until the arena opens. If that's a period of time where there's really an opportunity for the public input to be considered and have a material effect, we'd like to understand how that will work. If it's a period of time where the developer will create facts on the ground that will tend to close out certain kinds of public input, that's something that we're going to be very, very sensitive to. So I would like to, I'd like to ask you and your staff to do whatever is possible between now and then, kind of explain to us how that would work.
Arana, can we or Rachel, can you all address any of these questions on that now, like how the 30-day comment period is going to work? Do you want us to do that now? Or you want to?
Why don't I say it? Let me just have a couple more points. I'm happy to address the subject of governance. Very happy to hear there's an openness in terms of examining how this project can be maybe conform to some of the other models that have been successful in public-private partnerships. Obviously very interested to hear all that, how all of that develops. One of the things I would say there is, from our perspective, transparency of decision-making is what's really important. And the gold standard for that is that decisions are made by a board that includes some outside directors. Our feeling up to this point is major decisions on this project have been made by boards who perhaps either were not as familiar, let's say, with the circumstances of the project as one might have liked, or maybe even didn't have all the information that they perhaps should have had at the time the decisions were made. So here I would hope that where you end up is something that looks like the Hudson River Park Trust or something like that, where there are outside directors appointed in conjunction with our local elected officials that participate in major decisions on the project. The last thing I want to mention, and this is my question, regards the SEIS. The reason that we ended up with an appeal decision sort of goes back to a decision that we got in July of 2011. The reason it happened in July of 2011 is because we had to get re-argument. We didn't get the decision from the re-argument until November of 2010. The reason we had that re-argument is because counsel for ESDC in the original oral argument misrepresented the terms of the master development agreement. And this is all on the record. So my question really at this point is, I understand from a legal point of view why you might be considering appealing again. but you lost the appeal by a unanimous vote of 5-member appellate panel. That's not, it wasn't close. And the message you're sending in continuing to go to the appeal, I'm not a lawyer, but it seems to me unlikely that the Court of Appeals would hear something like that. But the message you're sending by pursuing the appeal now is directly counter to, I think, the impression that you want to create, that you're here to create tonight. So my question is, why in the world at this point would you be considering an appeal? Why not work with now, move forward with the SEIS, and let's move forward?
I mean, honestly, you put your finger on the key issue, which is the cause of internal debate at ESD Ratner. And that's why I thought we'd actually have a decision by tonight, and we don't. But I think we will soon. And you make a great point. And so it's just internally, we've got a big team of lawyers, folks with far more legal experience, legal expertise than I. I'm not a lawyer either. And so there's just different points of view trying to settle that and make a decision. But I think that your points are really important.
I can understand how attorneys that have been involved with this have a sense of ownership and pride over the work, and they don't like. I understand all of that and want to see a particular result. But at the end of the day, you're the CEO, and your message, your message is your message.